Hey everyone, Miss GoElectric here. Now I have reviewed over 100 e-bikes, and a lot of the brands that I tend to review are those that have great reputations, they have great serviceability, and I feel like they are a good value for people watching my reviews. So what that means is that I've declined hundreds of different e-bikes that manufacturers have offered to send me because they don't meet those criteria. So you can imagine that I was really excited when a brand that I've never heard of called Mihogo wanted to send me a carbon fiber bike that had tons of smart technology and seemed to have a similar value to some of the best in the business. It seemed like it could be too good to be true. Now that I've spent some time with this Mihogo Air Max, I can see that there are some differences from what they sell on the website to what you get in real life. So today I'm gonna walk through the specifications, I'm gonna take it out on the trails and ride it around, and we're gonna find out whether or not this is still a great choice.
The Mihogo Air Max is advertised as a Class 3 e-bike. The motor can help propel the bike to speeds up to 25 miles per hour while pedaling. The throttle can also enable propulsion without pedaling to 25 miles per hour. Power is delivered through a 750-watt rear hub motor. Dual torque sensors determine the rider's pedaling intent and pedal position for smooth assistance matching. The Air Max is powered by a pair of batteries operating at 48 volts. Each has a capacity label reading 9.6 amp hours for a total of 921.6 watt hours. They advertised 1,386 watt hours on their website when we accepted this review unit and at the time of recording. Both batteries are easily removable, and the bike comes with a 2 amp charger, which should deliver a full charge from 0 to 100% in about 9.5 hours. The frame integrated battery also includes a USB-A port, allowing for power to be exported to other devices. Mihogo advertises an optimistic maximum range of 121 miles or 128 miles on their website. The carbon fiber step-through frame is available in two colors, called gray and yellow. I haven't seen the gray, but I'd categorize the yellow of our sample unit as beige or cream. There is one frame size which Mihogo claims can accommodate riders between 5 foot 1 inches and 6 foot 5 inches in one place, and 5 foot 7 inches to 6 foot 10 inches in another place. The bike is IP67 rated for water resistance. The Air Max weighs 59 pounds and can support a total maximum payload capacity of 300 pounds. The rear cargo rack can support up to 33 pounds. This model includes hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors. The 7-speed shifter and Altus derailleur are made by Shimano. The front fork suspension offers 60mm of travel, and the gum wall tires are 26 inches in diameter and 2.5 inches wide. The integrated headlight, brake light, frame integrated side safety running lights, fenders, rear rack, and electric horn are all standard features. The color display includes a USB-C port which can supply energy from the e-bike's battery to mobile devices. It offers a 4-digit passcode feature for security, and it also supports proximity unlocking, which allows riders to bypass the code when their paired Bluetooth-enabled phone is nearby, when the bike is powered on. Mihogo's app can display battery level, turn on the side lights, and is advertised to support navigation, including search and points of interest. The brand claims turn-by-turn directions can be synchronized to the bike's display. That feature did not work for us, and there's a hidden catch. More on that later. Mihogo advertises a 2-year warranty, but we've confirmed that Air Max owners get a limited 1-year warranty. The brand says they have over 100 bike shop locations, but their map shows about 40 in the US, concentrated in California and Florida. We found a Mihogo Facebook community on their website as well, but there were only 2 members. The brand's reputation is unclear.
Well, hopefully I've been able to clear up some of the misleading claims that they have on their website, but I want to see if it's still really good on the trail, so we're going to try it out. This here is my Unit 1 Aura helmet. It is my favorite e-bike helmet. Not only does it protect you at those higher speeds, but it also has some awesome features.
The integrated front and rear lights here also function as turn signals. The rear light also brightens when braking or decelerating. Those features enhance rider visibility and safety while riding. My favorite feature is the crash detection system. Sensors in the helmet communicate with the Unit 1 mobile app to send an SOS message to your emergency contact if you crash and are unresponsive to a safety check. The helmet has a magnetic brim which accommodates this default visor or optional magnetic lenses, including this one which dynamically transitions tint levels with up to 100% UV protection in dynamic lighting environments while riding. This helmet has several safety certifications, including MIPS, and is designed to protect e-bike riders traveling up to 28 miles per hour. Plus, I think Unit 1 helmets, backpacks, and other accessories look awesome.
All right, let's go out for a ride, and today is quite a sunny day, so I'm definitely gonna need these transition lenses. Let's hit the trail. All right, so I usually like to start my reviews by pedaling without any assistance. This bike, even though it's made of carbon fiber, it does have quite a bit of componentry on it, but it is about 59 pounds, I believe. That seems to be about maybe 10 pounds difference than what you would get from other competitive bikes that are made out of aluminum. And when you add that dual battery, I would say this is a fair weight for everything that you get out of this bike. You know, this isn't something I would want to be pedaling for too long if I ran out of battery, especially if I'm going up hills like this. So I'm going to turn on that pedal assistance. And this is a torque sensor, but even this first pedal assistance mode is a decent amount of power when I'm going uphill. I was quite surprised to see that this had a torque sensor. And so far it feels really smooth as far as when it engages. So I like the power delivery. All right, now that the train has passed, you can actually hear barely the motor of the bike. Is the hub motor. It was kind of deceiving at first when I saw the website for this bike, because when they're talking about motor power, they outline the pedals in the controller area, but it made it seem like it was a mid-drive, but this is a rear hub motor with 750 watts. And so far I've been really happy with the performance. The suspension in the front smooths out those bumps nice enough. It's nothing fancy, but gets the job done. The saddle is super comfortable. It's thick. It's a little wider in the rear. And it does have a little bit of a cushion to it because it has those springs on the bottom of it, but it's not as, you know, performative as a suspension seat post. Pretty happy with this first pedal assist mode. I'm gonna bump it up and see how responsive this second mode is. A really smooth torque sensor. And I'm glad that they do have a torque sensor here, because this is a dual battery and it's just shy of a kilowatt hour, but that will help you be more efficient. And so will these tires. I love these tires. They're, I think, the perfect balance of width and efficiency for this kind of a bike. Very comfortable riding position. I'm in a more upright riding position. Very cruiser style. They got the handlebars that sweep back. Now, I like that the grips in the saddle match, and they're this pretty brown color. It kind of goes with the color of the bike. I like that they have the paddle shape, but they become a little slippery when you're riding in hot weather like this. But so far they are pretty comfortable. Bumping it up to maximum pedal assistance. I've noticed that the response to the power is definitely more responsive when you get up into that 5th pedal assist mode. So if you start at a stop on the 5th mode, you're really getting more of a jolt of power. A lot of times if you don't have more gears, you can't get up to speed, but I'm easily going 20 in a pedal assist 5 on that straightaway. So go a little bit further, I'll do a throttle test just to see how I can get up to speed. Now there's also some misinformation as far as how quick it can get up to speed. I'm in the 7th gear, I'm in the 5th pedal assist, so let's see how fast. And I'm pushing hard, but I'm at 26 miles per hour. So it can get up to speed. Now I'm gonna stop here. We'll do a throttle test. It's a thumb throttle on the left side of the display screen. So we're gonna give that a go in 3, 2, 1. A nice casual, but gets you up to speed nice and quick. Full throttle. I mean, it's still giving me 25 miles per hour. It kind of petered out there, but that's pretty good. A lot of throttles are restricted to 20 miles per hour, so great to see this can hit 25 on the throttle. That's really good for people who are going on longer stretches. Now, I wish this had cruise control. As far as I understand, it does not. But if you are commuting for longer periods of time and you just want to get there as quick as possible and use the least amount of energy in your own physical body, a throttle is good to have. And for that to be able to keep up with traffic at about 25 miles per hour is good to see. Now, I do also want to test from a standstill how this performs in the 1st pedal assistance versus the 5th. I'm going to give it a stop here. I'm going to drop down my pedal assistance here. Yeah, much smoother takeoff when you're in that 1st mode in comparison to when I'm in the 5th mode. Absolutely. Still smooth overall. None of it is jumpy, which is nice. When I'm looking for a bike that's just going to be like a commuter cruiser vibe, this is the exact riding position I'm looking for. I want to be upright. I want to be really comfortable for longer rides. One thing I really appreciate, not only the fenders and the rear rack that it comes with, but also it has an electric horn. So if you're coming, you can beep the electric horn and let them know. That's perfect for when you're riding on paths like this and there are other people around you, or even if you're around other cars in traffic. It's pretty loud, so people can hear you pretty well. I took this out the other night and rode it around in the dark, and I just absolutely love the accent lighting. I think this frame is so unique, and the lighting just adds to the style. And it's also just really great visibility. I was hoping that this would have turn signals. It kind of looked like it could based on the frame in the back. There are 2 pieces that are built in that look like they're lights, but they're actually just reflectors. So that was a little bit disappointing, but you know, my Unit 1 Aura helmet has turn signals, so I have solved that problem either way. All right, well, let's head back and I'll share my final thoughts on the Mihogo Air Max. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the opportunities for improvement, and then we're going to get into the things that I thought Mihogo did well with this bike. The first opportunity for improvement has to be the miscommunication on their website about what they say the bike is versus what it actually is. So I found that There was different information about the battery, about the motor, about whether or not this has location tracking. It does not. And whether or not the navigation system would work, which it did not for me. And to be very clear about that, I have a Google Pixel, so I'm on the Android side of things. I'm not sure if an Apple device would work with this. Now, the turn-by-turn navigation requires microtransactions for you to be able to search for points of interest and also to be able to get those directions. So they don't disclose that you have to pay more money every time you use that system. On their website, they also said that this bike is white, and then they changed it to yellow, but neither one of those colors is what I would consider this bike. This is more of like a cream color. And this is the graphic that they use in order to describe the power from the motor, and it highlights this area near the pedals, and it looks like in this case it could be a mid-drive motor because of this, but it's not. This is just the controller, and it's a rear hub motor, but it doesn't say anywhere on the website that this is a rear hub motor on this bike. Now, while that's not a blatant lie, it is misleading, and I think some people might think that this is a mid-drive when it's not. And the same goes for the location tracking. This does not have a 4G connection, no GPS or data. So people might look at their website and think that you can get location tracking with this, but you can't. So hopefully they can clear things up on their website, whether that is because of deception or just bad translation. Hopefully that'll get resolved. So the next opportunity for improvement has to be serviceability. The company claims that they have over 100 bike shops that they work with for maintenance or service, but when you look at the map, it doesn't look like there's nearly even close to 100 bike shops that they collaborate with. And not only that, most of them look like they're concentrated in California and in Florida. So that's just 2 of 50 states. Most people that are going to be buying this bike will not have a service network close to them. On top of that, they advertise this as a 2-year warranty, but when they sent me the warranty says that it's a 1-year period. So if you were gonna buy one of these, you're probably not gonna have a service location nearby, and even if you did, it's unclear about the level of accountability that they will provide. I would say that the Mihogo Air buyer should consider themselves on their own when it comes to service. Now, there are hundreds of e-bike brands in the United States that are in a similar situation, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal if this had name brand components, but the only one that they have is a Shimano shifter and derailleur. So when you take this into a bike shop and the repairman doesn't know exactly where the components came from, they might deny working on it. Another opportunity for improvement would include features that I'd like to see, which is cruise control. I'd like to see turn signals, and it would also be really nice that with this dual battery setup that I could plug into just one battery and it would fill up both of them. I wouldn't have to unplug and replug into the secondary battery to charge. Another opportunity for improvement has to be UL certification. Now, a lot of brands are going in this direction, and I think it's a great peace of mind for e-bike owners is to have that UL 2271 for the battery and 2849 for the electrical systems. So another opportunity for improvement has to be with the app. Now, it is basically non-functional. It doesn't really provide a lot of value in my opinion because it doesn't do the turn-by-turn navigation. It can't even find my location of where I'm at. It always puts me in the middle of an ocean. And this is supposed to also tell you notifications for if you get a phone call or a message or anything, and it just doesn't really do much of anything. So the app, the service network, and the language on their website are actually all things that could be improved, and I hope that they do improve those. But that brings me on to the things that I think are done really well with this bike. The first thing that I really like about this bike is the style, and in particular this carbon fiber frame. I think it's very unique. Now, it is slightly lighter than competitors in this segment, and some of the contributing factors there include the bigger battery, but generally speaking, I think they've done a great job of making this really stylish by not only integrating that really unique frame, but also with the different handlebar grips and the saddle, tying in those colors, and also integrating some of these lights on the side of the frame. I think that is such a cool feature, especially when you're riding at night. Now, Mihogo includes all the things that I would say is essential for an everyday bike like this, like the fenders. It also has the integrated headlight, the integrated brake light, the rear rack, and also a really clear and easy to read display screen. The next thing has to be comfort and rideability. I love this riding position, especially for this kind of a bike. It also has a really nice suspension that smooths everything out, along with those tires that make it a perfect balance to keep you stable, but also still pretty efficient. The saddle is also really comfortable, and I love the power delivery on this. It's very smooth with the torque sensor, and the throttle is powerful enough, in my opinion. Another thing I like about this bike is that they allow you to set a passcode so that you can have some sort of security. Someone can't just turn on the bike and ride away with it. And they also include a Bluetooth proximity unlock so that you don't have to type in that passcode every single time. If you have your phone on you, you walk up to it, it just unlocks. So if you're the type of person that's looking to shed about 10% of the weight with this carbon fiber frame and gain about 20% more battery capacity while saving about a couple $100, then this might be for you. But for those characteristics, you're sacrificing an enormous amount of features and serviceability that you could get from, say, an Aventon Level 3 or a GoElectric Discover 2. So is it too good to be true? Well, I think at the price point of $1,700, yes, it is too good to be true. If it was maybe around $1,200 to $1,300, then I would say it's probably a no-brainer, but this is something that I probably wouldn't recommend to my friends and family at this price point. Well, I hope this review was helpful, and if you want to learn more about the Mihogo Air Max, then I'll put a link in the description below. And if you do want to buy this bike, using that link really helps support our channel. Well, until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.